Hello students, this is your Mr. GST who actually makes GST good and simple tax for you. So in this video, we are quickly going to revise a chapter called returns. And in returns chapters are already like this chapter is nothing but no concepts, nothing involved. It is purely about what is the return, what is the due date for filing such return. So that is what we are going to see. Without wasting time, let us go with this GST returns. And here, see, first of all, GSTR 1 and 3B, So GSTR 1 and 3B generally for normal people who are not opting QRMP scheme. Sir, who are not opting for QRMP scheme, the life is very easy. Simple. Every month on 11th of the next month, every month GSTR 1, they should file GSTR 1 11th of the next month. So June month return, they should file 11th July. July month return, they should file August 11th. So that way, every month first what I will do, the month is over, 11th of the month, I will file GSTR 1 and that month 2B will be generated on 14th and I will check the 2B and I will file my GSTR 3B on 20th of that next month. So I will close the transaction. So I will close that month. For example, June month, what I will do, June month over, July 11th I will file GSTR 1 for June month and July 14 GSTR 2B is generated and July 20th, by that time I will pay my taxes and close it. So this is what generally people who have not opted QRMP scheme will do. But here what we are doing, the government thought for small people, for small taxpayers. What do you mean by small taxpayers? Whose aggregate turnover is not exceeding 5 crores in the preceding financial year. For them, they are coming up with a scheme called QRMP scheme. What do you mean by that? Quarterly return and monthly payment scheme. That means they have to file the returns quarterly, but they have to pay the taxes monthly. That is what the concept. Now, sir, if you take a quarter, but actually what has happened, by now you would have been understood, QRMP scheme has actually made the life miserable. They thought to simplify the activities or simplify the responsibilities, complaints, burdens for the small taxpayers, but they have obviously made it same or they have increased the burden actually. So in the quarter, what they will do, sir, suppose you take the quarter of Jan to March. Sir, Jan to March quarter, if you take, what they have to do, Jan month, Feb month, and March month. Okay, for these 3 months, if you see, sir, this Jan month is over. Once Jan month is over, sir, 13th Feb, they will be filing something called IFF. You know that. Feb month over, 13th March, they will be filing something called IFF. Okay. So for these 2 months, they have to file IFF and giving all the B2B details only, which are less than or equal to 50 lakhs. If it is greater than 50 lakh B2B invoices are there, they should be given only in GSTR 1. You don't have any other option. So first month and second month, they have to file IFF. That too only B2B invoices. That too maximum 50 lakhs is the limit. That much worth invoices only they can upload in IFF. Okay. Once this March month is also over, sir, for the entire quarter, of Jan to March, they will file a return called GSTR 1 on 13th of April. So once the quarter is over, the next 13th they will file GSTR 1. This is with respect to GSTR 1 details under QRMP scheme. And sir, coming to monthly payment. Sir, monthly what they have to do? Monthly, sir, 25th of Feb. See, for example, 25th of the next month. For the first 2 months, 25th of March here. For first 2 months in the quarter, 25th of the next month, they will make the tax payment. And sir, when they are making the tax payment, whatever the tax payment they are making, that will go and reflect in e-cash ledger. And once March month is over, that means for entire quarter, what they will do for Jan to March, they have to file GSTR 3B. The due date of GSTR 3B is 22nd or 24th, based upon which state you are residing. Sir, if you are residing in these states, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, mostly like south western states, you can say that way. So for all these states, if you are residing there, 22nd of the next month will be the due date. Once the quarter is over, you should file GSTR 3B. Once the quarter is over, next month 22nd. And same way, once quarter is over, if you are staying in these states, the 24th of the next month you have to file GSTR 3B. That is what the situation. Okay. Now, sir, that means what I am trying to tell, first month and second month you file IFF. Once the third month is over, you file GSTR 1. This is with respect to giving sales information. And first month and second month, you will pay taxes on or before 25th of the next month. And once quarter is over, you will file 3B on or before 22nd or 24th, based upon which state you are located. That is what the duty of all these people. Okay. So this is, if you have to follow QRMP scheme, this is the point. Now, sir, understand again here, if you are paying taxes here on 25th. So if you are paying taxes here on 25th of the next month, first 2 months, sir, you have two methods for paying the amounts. Sir, for paying the taxes, you have two methods. One is called SAM, that is self-assessment method. The other is called fixed sum method. Okay. Sir, what is this self-assessment method? Self-assessment method means actually. Self-assessment method means actually you should take your output tax for that month minus input tax and pay that. You assess your taxes by your sales, your ITC in 2B, and set off them and you go with the payment. Self-assessment method first 2 months. After the third month is over, quarter is over, you can go with GSTR 3B. Okay. Next, fixed sum method. The fixed sum method means the system will tell you how much you have to pay. System will calculate and automatically will tell you how much you have to pay. Sir, how system will tell how much you have to pay means that is based upon your previous tax period payments. Now, sir, you are in Jan to March quarter, correct? Sir, Jan to March quarter, if you see, preceding to this, you are paying taxes on monthly basis, imagine, or you are paying taxes on quarterly basis. If you are paying taxes preceding to Jan to March, so you are paying taxes suppose on monthly basis. The system will assume whatever your December month liability. December month you would have discharged GST liability. December month you imagine 40 rupees is your GST liability. System will assume, sir, Jan month also your liability will be 40. Feb month also your liability will be 40. So system will ask you to pay that 40. See, December month you have paid in cash 40 rupees. System will assume even in this quarter, monthly your liability will be like that. So first 2 months you will be paying on like rough estimation basis. So system will say, okay, December also you have paid 40 rupees cash. So this Jan month and Feb month also you pay 40 cash. After March is over, actual liability. Sir, actual liability is 90 rupees, sir. 10 rupees shortfall is there. Pay that 10 rupees and file the return. That means extra 10 rupees you have to deposit and file the return. Whatever you have deposited in the first month, 40 rupees and 40 rupees, that will be lying in e-cash ledger, that you cannot use it for any other purpose. Okay. So now, sir, March quarter is over. Now, if the liability is 90 rupees, what you should do, balance whatever 10 rupees is there, that you will upload to cash ledger and you close it. No, sir, actual liability is only 70 rupees. That means 10 rupees you have deposited extra in e-cash ledger that you can use for any purpose. You can claim refund also. That is one situation. So, if preceding tax period is a month, 100% of that month liability, whatever is there, that you pay in the first and second month. After the third month is over, quarter is over, you will understand what is your actual liability and close the transaction. Okay. Next, sir, if it is quarter, preceding tax period is quarter, that means previously also I am in QRMP scheme only, sir. Jan to March, before that, October to December also I was paying tax on quarterly basis, the QRMP scheme only. Then what the system will see? System will see for that entire quarter how much you have paid in cash. If you have paid in cash, whatever it is, let us assume you have paid 100 rupees in cash. That means 100% of your liability in that quarter. Okay. System will see how much you have paid in the last quarter. 100 rupees if you have paid. System will assume this quarter, Jan to March quarter also, the liability will be same. That means system will ask you first month pay 35 rupees. Generally you should know 33.33% will be monthly liability, correct? If for the entire quarter, if the liability is 100 rupees, then monthly 33.33 rupees. System will say like let us round it off. So for 35 rupees, system will ask you to pay 35 rupees cash, and month 2 again 35 rupees cash. Month 3 it is over. That means for entire quarter you should file 3B GSTR 3B. So the quarter is over, 3B you will file and you will see actual, sir, actual liability is 90 rupees again. You have 20 rupees shortfall. So 20 rupees you add to cash ledger and pay the liability. No, sir, actual liability is only 60 rupees. You have 10 rupees extra in e-cash ledger, claim that as a refund or use it for any other purpose. So simple. The system in fixed sum method, it will see what is your liability in the previous tax period. Previously, if you are paying on monthly basis, the same liability you pay first month also, second month also. After quarter is over, see the actuals and pay the difference. Sir, previously also I was paying quarterly also, sir. Now also I am in quarterly QRMP scheme only, no, sir. So for first month and second month, whatever your previous tax period, that previous quarter liability, 100% liability, out of that 35% you pay in the first month, 35% you pay in the second month, and system will automatically show that to you in the portal. You have to pay. Once quarter is over, you know the actuals. If you have paid extra, cash ledger balance can be carried forward or you can use it for any purpose or refund. No, sir, if I have paid less, then again upload balance shortfall cash and you close the return, finish the liability. So that is what. So that means understand, sir, QRMP scheme. See, generally if I am not under QRMP scheme, my life will be so easy here. Okay, only monthly I will check my GST return, GSTR 1 I will file and 3B I will file and close it. I will check 2B and I will close this. But if you are going with QRMP scheme, you have to follow all these things. Okay, sir, monthly you should be paying tax. Monthly you are also supposed to file IFF. That too only B2B invoices. All the B2C invoices I should take only to GSTR 1. Okay, that is how you have to proceed. When you are paying taxes on monthly here under QRMP scheme, you should use a form called PMT06. Okay, so that is what all about this particular thing. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. I will just this. Now you can take a screenshot of this if you want. Right. So that is what complete overview about QRMP scheme, GSTR1, due dates 1 and 3, all that. So let us just quickly go through this, like what theory part, what and all the due dates, etc., etc. First of all, section 37, sir, GSTR1. You know, GSTR1 is all about giving you a outward supply details, B2B, B2C, all that. Here one interesting point is, see, understand, there is an amendment here with respect to reporting the invoices in your GST return. You know, invoices in GST return are divided into B2B, B2C large and B2C others, correct? Sir, you know, B2B details invoice wise will be giving in the returns whether it is in intrastate supply or interstate supply. B2C invoices we will divide them into B2C large and B2C others. B2C large means, sir, interstate supplies where the value is greater than 1 lakh. Okay, I repeat, B2C large, interstate supply value is greater than 1 lakh, then only we call it as B2C large. B2C large also you should report invoice wise separately. All other B2C invoices are B2C others, and we have to report them in the GST return consolidated number enough and consolidated figure state wise, rate wise. For example, Tamil Nadu 5% sales, Tamil Nadu 12% sales, Tamil Nadu 18% sales. Same way, Karnataka 18% sales, Karnataka 5% sales, Karnataka 12% sales. Like that, state wise, rate wise, consolidated figure if you give, that is more than sufficient. I repeat, sir, invoices in GSTR1, B2B you should report invoice wise. B2C large you should report invoice wise. B2C large means interstate B2C supplies value greater than 1 lakh. B2C others consolidated state wise, rate wise you should give. Okay, that is what the concept. Clear? Now, okay, coming back to the point, sir, for whom GSTR1 is applicable? You know, GSTR1 is applicable for every registered person, including casual taxable person, but other than non-resident taxable person, because non-resident taxable person, you know, GSTR5, composition dealer GSTR5, input service distributor GSTR6, that is only for CA final, person deducting tax or source GSTR7, and person collecting tax or source GSTR8, and supplier of void air services, again this is only for CA final, GSTR5A. Okay, sir, these people will follow those normal returns whatever I have given here, but others will go with GSTR1, including casual taxable person. Okay, next. Sir, when you are supposed to file GSTR1, you cannot file GSTR1 before the completion of that particular month. So June month return, if you want to file, June month should be over, then only you can file. No, sir, I want to file even before June month. There are two cases where June month, before completion of that particular tax period, return can be filed. Number one, you are cancelling your registration, or number two, you are a casual taxable person whose registration certificate validity is getting expired. For these people, even before the completion of that particular tax period, they can file GSTR1. Okay, so there is this concept all about. Next. Invoices you can keep on uploading in GSTR1 any number of times at any time, but only submission of return will be taken after the tax period is over. Uploaded invoices can be modified any number of times till the return is submitted. Next, how the invoices should be disclosed, all that we have discussed. Should I upload scanned copy of invoices? Not required. Sir, how many digits of HSN code should be given? As we have seen, relaxation with respect to HSN code in tax invoice chapter itself, the same thing applies. Due date for GSTR1, as I already discussed, if it is QRMP schemes, are 13th of the next month. In other cases, it is 11th of that next month. What is QRMP scheme? I already discussed about this. What is QRMP scheme? This is to ease the complaints burden for people whose aggregate turnover is not exceeding 5 crores. QRMP scheme has been brought into picture, but they have complicated their life. So those details I have told you already. File GSTR1 at the end of the quarter, but first 2 months file IFF, and also first 2 months pay the taxes. Okay. Next, so I have explained all the details clearly. It is a scheme where returns GSTR1 and 3 are filed quarterly, but payments are made on monthly basis, and this scheme is available GSTIN wise. So that means few GSTINs can go for QRMP schemes and few GSTINs need not go for QRMP scheme. That means I have multiple registrations in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, like that. Then what I can do, sir, I can happily, for certain registrations I can go for QRMP schemes, for certain registrations I cannot follow, I need not follow QRMP scheme, I can happily go with monthly filing. So the only thing you should remember is this is not composition scheme. In composition scheme, everybody should go for either composition scheme or normal scheme. But here that is not the case, sir. Everybody need not go for QRMP scheme. Some registrations can go with QRMP, some registration need not go for QRMP. And the facility to select and deselect this QRMP scheme option is also available for every quarter. That means this quarter you can go with QRMP, next quarter you can go for monthly filing, that next quarter you can go with QRMP, that next quarter you can go with monthly filing. So that way, sir, you can be shifting from QRMP out of QRMP, QRMP out of QRMP, like that you can keep on shifting. But this option to shift will be available to you only from first day of the second month of the preceding quarter till the last day of the first month of the relevant quarter. Sir, what is this, sir? That means simple here, please understand. Jan to March quarter, whether you want QRMP scheme or not, that purely depends. That window will open when? That window will open, sir, that window will open on the first day of the second month of the preceding quarter. The preceding quarter is November 1st. Okay, from November 1st it will open till the last day of the first month of the relevant quarter. Relevant quarter is Jan to March. So till Jan 31st. That means Jan to March, I want for that quarter QRMP or I don't want to be under QRMP. I can decide between November to January. Please understand, if you are under QRMP scheme, unless you deselect that option, it will be continued under QRMP. If you are under monthly scheme, unless you disturb that, it will be going on monthly only. Okay, so if you want to shift from monthly to quarterly, yes, you shift it, or if you want to shift from quarterly to monthly, you shift it, but unless you do something, it will not get changed. Okay, so that is what the point. So now January to March, as I told you, November to Jan. Sir, for example, April to June, the option will be open when? The option will be open from Feb to April, so on. Okay, so that way, if you are watching this, you just comment me in the chat box, or what is the window opening period for October to December quarter. If you want to go with QRMP scheme, or you come out of QRMP scheme for October to December, what is the time period when the window will be open? You just tell me. Next. So as I told you, once the option is exited, that shall remain valid for future periods also, unless you change it or you become ineligible for QRMP scheme. Understand, sir, when your aggregate turnover exceeds 5 crores in the current financial year, you will automatically become ineligible for QRMP scheme. That means QRMP option you can follow till your aggregate turnover is touching 5 crores. Okay, once your aggregate turnover crosses 5 crores, you cannot go with QRMP scheme. So that is what the point. And what is IFF? I told you already what is IFF. First 2 months you will be filing that only B2B invoices, that too not exceeding 50 lakhs. Okay, right. Next. So whatever the details you give in IFF, then automatically that will get reflected in opposite follows 2B. Okay, that is there. This is important point for you. The registered person, when he is ineligible to file GSTR1 or IFF, sir, he is ineligible to file GSTR1 or IFF when he has not furnished. Okay, when he has not furnished, spelling is wrong. So not furnished is GSTR1 or 3B. Not furnished his GSTR1 or 3B. Not furnished is GSTR1 or 3B of the previous tax period. Is GSTR1 and 3B is like a chain. If you don't file one, you cannot go with 3B. If you don't file that 3B, again you cannot go for the next month one. So 1 3B, 1 3B, 1 3B, like that you should be keep on going like the chain. So if you don't file one thing, then you cannot go with the next one. Next one is what? He has not deposited the amount specified in Rule 88C and Rule 88D. See, simple. Rule 88C and 88D, if you remember, the Rule 88C is nothing but whatever the sales you are showing, in GSTR1, sales in GSTR1 are greater than sales in GSTR3B. That means in GSTR1 you are showing 100 lakh supplies, but in 3B you are showing only 10 lakhs. Further, they'll give you the notice, they'll ask for the explanation, you give the explanation, proper explanation, satisfactory to the proper officer. Or if you understand, no sir, my mistake, I did the mistake, so actual liability is for 100 lakhs only, see this is the difference I'm paying, like that, you make the payments, all that, and give the challan copy, everything, and reply to the notice, then it is fine. Otherwise, either you are not giving reply, or you are giving a reply is not satisfactory, or you are becoming liable to pay tax but you have not paid tax. In such cases, sir, that people like department will stop you from filing further upcoming returns, that is GSTR1 IFF and followingly automatically GSTR3B. Same story for 88D also. What is 88D? Sir, whatever is there your ITC in 2B, sir, that ITC whatever you have claimed in 2B is is greater than what you have claimed in 3B. So ITC what you claimed in 3B is greater than what is available in 3B. In 2B it is available. ITC whatever you have taken in 3B is greater than what is available in 2B. Sir, in 2B it is showing only 1 lakh. You have taken ITC of 10 lakhs. For that again they will give you notice, they will ask you explanation. If you have genuine reasons, give explanation. Even if you have given explanation, they are not happy, or sir you don't have genuine reasons, actually you did a mistake there, then you make the payment of tax. If you are not making payment of tax, then they will not allow you to file the subsequent returns. Next, last one is you are not furnished your bank account details in GST in the GST portal following Rule 10A. Then also your GST return filings will be blocked, the 1 or IFF, and subsequently automatically 3B also will be blocked. Okay. And you know, obviously, sir, if any mistakes are done, in filing GSTR1, sir, we cannot revise GSTR1. We cannot file a GST revised return because this is not income tax. Please understand. We cannot file the revised return, but you can rectify the mistakes whatever has been done in the subsequent returns. That means April month, if I have done any mistakes, I can rectify them in May month return. So May month I have done any mistakes, I can rectify that in June month return. Every return will be having amendment tables within that. So whatever the mistakes you have done in the returns, that can be amended in the subsequent returns. So I repeat here, no revision of return, only rectification. For that rectification also you have a due date here, just nothing but same like section 16 subsection due date. Okay. For any GSTR1 mistakes you can rectify by subsequent year 30th November or actual date of filing annual return of the relevant financial year, whichever is earlier. Hope it is clear for you. Just like 16 subsection for time limit. And if you see here, sir, there are certain key points. Sir, if I am not doing any business, should I file nil return? Yes, nil return you should definitely file. That is mandatory. Okay. But if you have any outward supplies, you have any inward supplies covered under RCM, or you have any prior period amendments, or you have any credit notes or debit notes, okay, in such cases to be declared, then you cannot file the nil return. Yes, obvious. So all these things are there. Yes, next GSTR1 invoice value, taxable value, tax amount should be rounded off to 2 decimal digits, and 3B self-assessed tax liability will be rounded off to nearest 2P. Okay. And when you are asking for cancellation of GST registration, you should file GSTR1 at least for the active period for sure. Okay, that is what the concept. And now with respect to GSTR1A, there is an amendment video. I am just attaching to this. Just watch it. The next one, section 38, and regarding that we have already seen in ITC chapter also, like regarding GSTR 2B, whatever ITC is reflected, that can be taken as ITC, but government has the power to restrict that if you are purchasing it from person who are newly registered, or if a person who is like your seller who has not filed his GSTR1 properly or GSTR3B properly, taken ITC more than what is there in 2B, giving wrong information in GSTR1 and 3B, all these things are we have seen. That means the mistakes done by the supplier, you will be ineligible for taking ITC. Those provisions are not yet effective, nothing to worry, but still. So we have discussed about this in ITC chapter also. So nothing but whatever is reflected in GSTR2B, you can happily take it as ITC. Just remember that way, that is sufficient. 2A 2B difference, let us not worry about that, not required for you. Next, GSTR3B section 39, we have already discussed about the due dates. So generally GSTR3B, the due date is what, nothing but 20th of the next month. And if at all you are under QRMP scheme, then 22nd or 24th, based upon which state you are located. All the stuff we have already discussed. And of course you have to mandatorily file nil return for GSTR3B even if there is no business, and nil return cannot be filed if there are any outward supplies, if there are any inward supplies under RCM, or if you want to take any ITC, then you cannot file nil return. Okay, so all the stuff, yes, we have discussed. So that is GSTR3. And options to pay tax under QRMP scheme, fixed sum method or self-assessment method, as I already discussed to you. And next, interest on delay in payment of tax, that already we have discussed in that chapter. Here that is not that greatly relevant, don't worry. Here examples are there from ICA study material I have lifted. Just you can go with these examples. Just pause the video and just go with the example for 2 minutes, and then you can proceed. Already we have discussed it, nothing to worry. Right. Next, rule 88C, as I already discussed, sir, if there is any difference between GSTR1 and 3B, GSTR1 you are showing more sales, but GSTR3B you are giving less sales, then there will be notice served to you. You should explain the details, all that, as I already told you while discussing GSTR1 or IFF not allowed to be filed. That concept I have discussed with. So the basic structure, same thing applicable for rule 88D also. Here ITC reflected in 2B is less than what you have taken in 3B. Okay, so you have taken more ITC than what is there in 2B. Okay, so the same story here, what we have discussed already. Next, due dates for payment of taxes. As you all know, due date for payment of tax is also nothing but, sir, if you are not in QRMP scheme, it is linked to GSTR 3B 20th of the next month, correct? No, suppose you are opting for QRMP scheme, first 2 months PMT 06 25th of the next month, and then you will file 3B after the quarter is over, 22nd or 24th will be the due date. Sir, if you are a composition taxpayer, GST CMP 08 18th of the next month after the quarter. This is very important, sir. You know, composition taxpayer will pay tax on quarterly basis. Once the quarter is over, after that 18th will be the due date after that quarter. For NRTPs, due date is linked to GSTR5. GSTR5, this alone little bit different one. Actually, due date we have seen only one date every case. But here NRTPs are the due date to pay taxes. That is nothing but due date to file GSTR5 also. 20th of the next month or 7 days. 7 days after the expiry of registration, whichever is earlier. For example, your registration is expiring on March 10th. What you should do, sir, for March 1st to 10th also you should file GSTR 5. That when you have to file, generally March GSTR 5 I should file on April 20th, but here April 20th or 7 days from the expiry of due date. 7 days from the expiry of due date is 17th March. So 20th April or 17th March, whichever is earlier. 17th March is earlier, so that will be the case. Next, tax deductor also you have already seen, GSTR 7, all that stuff, 10th of the next month, everything. Next, sir, GSTR 3B also, all the returns here under section 39, whatever we have discussed here. So all these returns, sir, no revision, only rectification is allowed. Any errors you have committed, sir, during scrutiny, audit or inspection or enforcement, you cannot say, sir, I will rectify the mistakes in the next return. Okay, like that you cannot say. You have to rectify it on your own, then only the amendment tables can be used. But if the department is identifying, then you should be like facing the consequences. But what is the time limit for rectifying the mistakes whatever there in GSTR 3B? Same like 16 subsection 4 or same like GSTR 1, whatever we have seen. Sir, 30th November of the succeeding financial year or actual date of filing annual return of the relevant financial year, whichever is earlier. Okay, so the due dates, everything given in table form here. So if you see this table, nothing but, sir, GSTR 1 due dates we have already discussed, 3B due dates we have already discussed, GSTR 4 is yearly to be filed by actually composition dealer. And you know, see, first of all, there is one small difference here or small change. Due date for GSTR for composition dealer is 30th April earlier. Now they made it 30th June of the succeeding financial year. So here alone you please be very careful. So this GSTR 4 due date is 30th June now. And GST CMP 8 we have discussed quarterly, 18th of the succeeding month after the quarter is over. GSTR 5 we discussed for NRTPs, all that the due date is already discussed. And GSTR 5A we have not seen yet. Sir, this is monthly return which has to be filed by person who is supplying online money gaming from a place outside India to place to a person in India. This is important for you, so please remember this carefully. Okay, and so that means example, online money gaming, let us assume Rummy Circle from outside India to a person in India, or supplier of OIDR services from a place outside India to a person who is not this non-taxable online recipient or any registered person. So from outside India to NTO or any registered person. So OIDR service provider. For them 20th of the next month. The GSTR 5A we have not yet seen due date anywhere else. So this is the due date. Next, input service distributor every month 13th of the next month, and nil return is also mandatory in case of you are an input service distributor. GSTR 8 we have seen TDS and TCS people 10th of the next month. GSTR 9 annual return. So annual return whatever has to be filed. See, every person to whom GSTR 1 and 3B is applicable, for them GSTR 9 is also applicable except casual taxable person. Except casual taxable person. For casual taxable person, GSTR 1 and 3B are applicable, but not GSTR 9. Due date will be 31st December of the succeeding financial year. Okay. Next, GSTR 9A, same 31st December of the succeeding financial year for composition dealer. GSTR 9C on yearly basis reconciliation statement whose aggregate turnover is exceeding 5 crores. And here, yes, one point please understand, GSTR 9, if it is aggregate turnover is less than or equal to 2 crores now, then it is optional. But if it is greater than 2 crores, now it is mandatory. Okay, so that is what the point here. Okay, fine. So GSTR 9C, that is reconciliation statement whose aggregate turnover is exceeding 5 crores, for them only this is applicable. So for whose aggregate turnover is exceeding 5 crores, they should file GSTR 9 and 9C both. Okay, so that is what the concept. Okay, next. So GSTR 9C will be self-certified. Okay, this is not applicable for GSTR 9C is not applicable for central, state government departments or local authorities which are audited by Comptroller and Auditor General of India or auditors appointed under any law. For them, this 9C is not applicable. Next, GSTR 10 is nothing but final return whose registration is being cancelled or surrendered should file the final return GSTR 10 within 3 months from the date of cancellation or order of cancellation, whichever is later. For example, let us assume on 10th December you are getting the order of cancellation. This is the order, but effective date is 1st September effective. So which is later? 10th December. From this you should take 3 months. Okay, within that GSTR 10 has to be filed. Next, GSTR 11 is nothing but refund claim for people holding UI and all the stuff. So they can use the form GSTR 11 whenever they want to have this refund. They can apply through GSTR 11 and get the refund. Next, first return. If you remember, first return is a concept where you are giving the revised tax invoices. If you remember, from the effective date of registration till the date of grant of registration certificate, whatever the supplies are made, for those supplies you can give the revised tax invoices, and those revised tax invoices will be given in first return. That is what the concept. Okay. Next, if you are defaulting in return filing all the stuff, so there are late fees here. So GSTR 1 and 3B, if you see, the latest late fees are nothing but based on aggregate turnover. Sir, if your aggregate turnover is 0 to 1.5 crores, 50 rupees per day, and that means 25 CGST, 25 SGST, or 2000, 1000 plus 1000, whichever is less. Here daily fees is same. Okay, daily fees is same. No matter your aggregate turnover is 0 to 1.5 crores or 1.5 crores to 5 crores or greater than 5 crores, daily fees is same. Only the late fees is changing, 2000, 5000 and 10,000 like that. But if it is altogether a nil return, so see, understand, if altogether it is a nil return, sir, it is 20 rupees per day. Daily late fees also will change and maximum late fees will be 500, whichever is less. Okay, so that is what the concept. So I repeat, daily late fees if nil return 20 rupees per day or 500, whichever is less. Okay, 20 rupees means 10 plus 10, 500 means 250 plus 250. Here also 50 rupees per day. Daily limits are same. No matter your aggregate turnover is 0 to 1.5, 1.5 to 5 crore or greater than 5 crore. But maximum late fees is changing, 2000, 5000 and 10,000. And imagine same thing for GSTR 4. GSTR 4 means composition dealer whose aggregate turnover does not exceed 1.5 crores. So this provision and this provision will be applicable for composition dealer. These 2 points will not apply. Okay, so that is what the concept. So for GSTR 4, hope you are clear with the late fees. Here it is there in the next page. You can just go through this. Okay, so GSTR 4, sir, obviously his aggregate turnover is not exceeding 1.5 crores. So per day you can understand 50 rupees or 2000, whichever is less. But sir, if it is a nil return, what will happen? 20 rupees per day or 500, whichever is less, as we have already discussed. Next, sir, maximum late fees with respect to annual return filing. Sir, annual return filing GSTR 9 we are talking about. Sir, GSTR 9, the late fees is, please understand, if your aggregate turnover is up to 5 crores, that means 0 to 5 crores or 5 to 20 crores. Here greater than 20 crores. Okay, in that case, if you understand, sir, in that case, sir, daily limit, if you see, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 200 rupees, it is increasing, correct? And maximum late fees, if you see, 0.04%, 0.04%, 0.5% of the turnover in the state. That is very important here. It is not aggregate turnover in the state, because I have Tamil Nadu registration, Karnataka registration, Andhra registration also. Andhra, Karnataka, I filed it on time, but Tamil Nadu I am filing it late. So on Tamil Nadu turnover only I will calculate maximum late fees, correct? Why will I consider aggregate turnover? So that is what the concept. So I repeat here, based on aggregate turnover, the daily late fees is also changing and maximum late fees also changing. Okay, so please be careful with that. 0.04%, 0.04%, 0.5%. So comparing all these things. So the late fees are, obviously you should remember, there is no other choice. GSTR 7 late fees also has been given here, sir, other than nil return, because if it is nil return, that late fees can be waived off. So 50 rupees per day, 25 plus 25, and 2000 rupees, 1000 plus 1000, whichever is less. GSTR 8 late fees we have seen already in e-commerce transaction. What chapter? E-commerce transactions chapter. If you want, here also in the book you can just write down GSTR late fees, GSTR 8 late fees. Next, the last concept, the theoretical concept, GST practitioner. Sir, how can become a GST practitioner? All the stuff you can just go through that once. Nothing important or greatly relevant here. You should be an Indian citizen to get the certificate, and you should be a sound mind, not adjudicated as an insolvent, or not convicted by any competent court. And there are additional conditions, just like your residential status. You see basic conditions and additional conditions. Here there are additional conditions, like you should be a retired commercial tax officer or a CBIC officer who has worked for at least 2 years under Group B as a Group B gazetted officer, or you should be enrolled as a sales tax practitioner earlier before GST for 5 years, or a service tax return preparer, okay, for not less than 5 years. Sir, no sir, I am a Gen Z kid sir, recently born sir. Then you should have at least acquired any prescribed qualifications mentioned below, any graduation course which is recognized by Indian universities or foreign universities, okay, and any other examination which is recommended by the GST Council and notified by the government, and or at least sir CA or CMA or CS final examination. If you are clear, then for you this GST practitioner certificate will be given. And if GST practitioner certificate has been given, like you can undertake all these things. You can act as an authorized representative for the client till the tribunal level. This is one advantage what I feel as a GST practitioner. Sir, you can represent the client till the tribunal level, where even chartered accountants can go and represent the client only till the tribunal level. You are able to do that, okay. And obvious remaining things are obvious, sir. You can file his returns, file refund application, file the registration application, surrender the registration, whatnot, everything you can do, okay. So that is obvious. Okay, so there are other points you can just go through, and there is a procedure also, not that great one. And information written, sir, there is something called information written which has to be furnished by the prescribed people. The authorities who are required to furnish information written alone, you remember, taxable persons, state government authorities which are responsible for collecting the taxes, central government authorities which are responsible for collecting the excise duty, all that, income tax authority, banking company, electricity boards, registrar, local authorities registered within the meaning of Companies Act, and registration authority with respect to motor vehicles. All this, these people have to give information written to GST department. If they are not doing that, what will happen, sir? These people also has to give the information written. If they are not doing that, there is a penalty, 100 rupees per day if there is delay in filing that return, or 5,000 rupees, whichever is less. So that will be the penalty, okay. So this is the story of returns chapter. So students, hope you have enjoyed watching this lecture, and quickly we have revised the returns chapter. So from exam point of view, so share this video with your friends who are revising the chapter and who are feeling it difficult. Wishing you all the very best. Enjoy your preparation. This is your Mr. GST signing off. Jai Hind.